Convert Lease Option to Wraparound, CLOTWA. The CLOTWA spreadsheet and mail merge templates is designed for a variety of situations for buying and selling with seller financing for wraparound notes and lease with option. The description in this presentation is for using my mail merge forms for the for rent method strategy. The CLOTWA spreadsheet. The spreadsheet is my Microsoft 365 Excel macro-enabled spreadsheet for analyzing data to acquire control of a property with seller financing as either a lease with option or a wraparound note, a WRAP, with an all-inclusive trust deed, AITD, and either holding the property for rental income or quick turning the property to an unrelated third-party buyer on a lease with option or a WRAP and AITD, or simply assigning for a cash fee. Important. The CLOTWA Excel spreadsheet and the Word mail merge templates are designed only for Windows 10. The CLOTWA spreadsheet. The CLOTWA spreadsheet has over 100 Microsoft 365 Word mail merge templates that process the data exported from the CLOTWA spreadsheet to plain text files for import into Microsoft 365 Word. The forms can be saved as PDF files for emailing or for secure e-signatures as needed. The CLOTWA spreadsheet has built-in macros for processing the data for the specified parameters in the for rent method strategy, and the dynamic mail merge templates detect this situation and customize the generated forms. The mail merge templates receive data from a plain text file with 3,000 columns that was produced from the CLOTWA spreadsheet. There are two variations of the plain text files: CSV, comma separated values text file that has exactly one data row, or TXT, tab delimited text file that has many data rows. When you process one data row, typical usage, you can use either text format. You must use the TXT format when you process more data rows. The functions for managing the data rows are performed by simple push buttons in the CLOTWA spreadsheet. The data can be imported and exported as text formulae to preserve your custom Excel calculations. Portfolio controls. The Portfolio Controls section manages the portfolio data. The data is saved as Excel formulae to preserve your custom calculations in the input cells. The Fetch button retrieves the data from the specified row. The Store button saves the data into the specified row. The Delete button erases and removes the specified row. The action renumbers subsequent rows. The Add button adds a row of data to the portfolio. The Clear button erases all portfolio data. The Export button saves the portfolio data to an external plain text file. The Import button brings in that portfolio data. If there is already portfolio data, then the spreadsheet will ask for your permission to append that data to the existing data. The Build button builds the mail merge data from the portfolio data. The Save button saves the mail merge data to an external TXT tab delimited plain text file. The Join button builds mail merge data by merging data from the specified other portfolio table. Analyze the property data in the CLOTWA spreadsheet and then save that spreadsheet in a property folder created for that specific property. I recommend including the property street address as a prefix in the file name and in the property folder name. In the Portfolio Controls section, add the data row to the portfolio worksheet by clicking the Add button. Click the Build button to generate the TXT plain text data rows in a special worksheet. Click the Save button to save that worksheet, plain text data, into the property folder as a TXT plain text file. Save the spreadsheet. CLOTWA demonstration video. Welcome. This is Convert Lease Option to Wraparound Financing Spreadsheet. My name is Jeffrey Smith. This is a short demonstration video for using the spreadsheet to calculate the parameters for a for rent method transaction. You find a motivated seller who is receptive to selling the property on a lease with option. And then you connect that seller with a motivated buyer who is unable or unwilling to acquire bank financing to purchase the property now, but will lease the property with an option to buy, and at some later date, in 2 or 3 years, will be able to qualify for new bank financing to cash out the seller. The general method is to ask the seller what monthly payment they want and how much of that they will use for a applied monthly rent credit. Take the rent credit, multiply it by the number of months in the lease term, and then add that to the fair market value of the property, so that by the end of the lease term, the marked up price has been paid down through the applied rent credits, and then the buyer can get a bank loan and pay off the remainder of the property. So we start with the spreadsheet. Let's reset it to its initial state. And then we will go to the portfolio controls and clear it, starting fresh. And now we've specified the fair market value is $300,000. Down here in the lease option term, we'll use 36 months. And then we'll click No Debt, because we don't care about the debt. Click Set FRM, which is for rent method parameters. And now the spreadsheet is set up with the financial parameters. You will also want to go to the Superb Seller worksheet and specify the seller's name and contact information, and to the Best Buyer worksheet, specify your best buyer's contact information, and then you'll be able to add the data to the portfolio controls. This creates a data row. And now you'll be able to build the mail merge data from this information that you've assigned to the property-specific input cells. Now in the for rent method, there is the Joe Crump way of doing it, which is where you become a principal party as a lessee and an optionee, and then you will assign your contractual position to the buyer that you found. Thus, your name appears on the contracts, and there will be assignment clauses in those contracts allowing you to assign to a third party. Now, in my way of doing this, we add one level of indirection to this, where we create an option to lease with option. So you have an option contract with the seller, where the seller has agreed to enter into a lease with option transaction with a third party, and therefore the lease agreement and the option to buy contract have a blank spot for the lessee and the optionee. Now you have another contract with the seller, which is the option to lease with option. When you exercise that option, or you assign that option to a third party, and that third party exercises the option, The optionee will then sign the lease agreement and the option to buy contract and will then enter that transaction. So to do that, we go down here and notice that we have the turn on for rent method. This is the flag that's detected by the dynamic mail merge templates. There's also taking title on seller wrap. This flag is also used when you are using the Joe Crump method of becoming a bound principal party in the lease with option. You turn off this flag, add another data row with that flag turned off, and then you build the mail merge data. With that flag turned off, the dynamic mail merge templates will generate blanks where the lessee and optionee go in the lease with option transaction. Now that the mail merge data has been processed, we want to save it as a plain text file. Save the file. Now we can open up a mail merge template. We can see from the mailings that we're on record number 1. This file has already loaded in the plain text. We can see from this information, this is the Joe Crump version, so my name is listed as the lessee in the transaction. And this is all that we show the owner. We show the purchase price that the owner wants is $300,000. We're marking up that price with the applied rent credit for the duration of the lease option term. And now we have the blended junior and senior tranches as the blended financing parameters. So the monthly payment is $2,400. The beginning value is $314,400. At the end of the lease option term, that will be paid down to $300,000. So we've paid off $14,400 of principal, plus the interest in the transaction means that the total periodic payments are $86,400, which is 36 times the blended periodic payment. Adding to it the redemption value means that this transaction has generated $386,400 for the seller. If we look at record number 2, we now see that we've added some information. The assignment fee that will go into your pocket when you assign your option to the motivated buyer, $25,200. We've also guesstimated on the estimated closing costs of about $3,395. We really don't know what that is until the actual closing occurs, so it's just a guess. And the rest of this is the same. And now we have additional lines at the bottom showing that the motivated buyer has paid $386,400. That went to the seller of the property, plus your assignment fee. So the total cash paid by the motivated buyer is $411,600. We subtract the interest portion to calculate the asset purchase price. Now you would save this as a PDF file. Replacing the PDF file. In this scenario 2, this is my version of the for rent method where the lessee is left blank. This information will be filled in when your motivated buyer exercises the option after buying that option from you with the assignment fee. This has been Convert Lease Option to Wraparound Financing for Rent Method Parameters. My name is Jeffrey Smith. Thank you for the opportunity to serve. Open Microsoft 365 Word. Go to the File menu and click New to create a new mail merge document from one of the template forms. File Save As the docx file to the property folder. Go to the Mailings menu, select Recipients. Select Use an Existing List. Navigate to the property folder. Choose the TXT plaintext file that you saved from the CLOTWA spreadsheet. Click OK on the next requestor. Mailings, Preview Results button to see the results. Then save as a PDF and then save the docx file. I suggest that you edit the templates to insert a JPEG picture for your signature in the signature line of each form, or you can use an e-signature service to stamp digitally that location when you email the PDF file. Save the pristine files in your Microsoft Templates directory. Then you can create as needed a new document from the template file and then save it in the property folder. I suggest that you save as the property spreadsheet with a name that includes the property street address as a prefix. For example, for property at 123 Main Street, you would prefix it with 123 Main Street CLOTWA.xlsm. Then you can save the docx and .pdf files like this. Street name prefix, CLOTWA, letter of intent, MLO buyer, PDF, and docx. Do this for each of the documents for that property folder. Each template offers a suggested file name for save as. Prepend the street address prefix in front of the file name and then save it. If you update the CLOTWA spreadsheet, then rebuild the plain text file and save it in the property folder. Refresh the form files by opening and resaving each of the PDF and docx files.